Tori and I are on a secret mission.
Oh my god!
We are leaving the city. I just feel like I need to get out of the city after being towed and having to pay $700 just for a few days.
We're leaving!
Just for a breather.
Okay.
But we're okay. We'll be back. And as my friend said, it's cheap rent for San Francisco, $700. So I'm trying not to let that get to me. I'm trying to still have an abundant mindset with money, because even though I lost $700, money does flow to me. It always comes to me. It always comes back. It's hard to feel that whenever something like this happens, but that is the truth. Anyways, we're gonna drive into nature just to have like a little break from it all. We have like a 2-hour drive, so we're gonna get started with that.
After we got towed, I was feeling so overwhelmed with the energy of San Francisco and being in a city in general. We had been running around the city all night trying to get the van back, and we were pretty ready to get out of there. Thankfully, we got an invite from our sweet friend Maya to go to a vegan campout in Northern California, where we spent the next few nights with other activists who were planning to go to the Animal Liberation Conference.
It has been a rainy day. I made a bagel with this Kite Hill cream cheese. We got it at Grocery Outlet, which is this grocery store here that sells things for really cheap. I forget how much that was, but it was really cheap. It's the garden veggie flavor. Really like it. I have spinach and cherry tomatoes, and I'm just hanging out with my beautiful girlfriend. I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct, less than 1% of the population is vegan or something like that. So every single time I come into San Francisco and I come into this activist space, I'm filled with so much joy and excitement, and it's just this really foreign feeling to be around so many people that have like-minded ideas. So at this vegan campout we went to, we had so many potlucks. The first thing we had was, I think it's called vegan pozole. I honestly had never had it before, but it was like a tomatoey sauce with potatoes and onions, and then we put that in Impossible meat, which is similar to Beyond Meat, if you've heard of that, and we made tacos out of that. That was really delicious, and then we just shared that around the bonfire and talked and shared stories, and it was a really fun time. The next day we made French toast. Our friend Grace really paved the way for this meal. I don't make a ton of French toast, but it's really incredible how you can find substitutes for almost anything when you're cooking vegan. So anything that you ate before you were vegan, like I loved French toast, you can just find a way to make a vegan version of that. For eggs, some of the great substitutes are like a chia egg or a flax egg, but you can also find something like Just Egg or a egg replacement at a store. I actually don't know how this French toast was made, but when I make French toast, I will do a chia egg, and I really enjoy that. We topped that off with blueberries and maple syrup, and it was so delicious and sweet, especially for me because I have the biggest sweet tooth. And then for lunch, we made a tofu scramble. Again, just such a great way to substitute eggs for a plant-based alternative like tofu. You can also do this with chickpeas if you don't like to eat soy. You can just mash up chickpeas, but I make tofu scramble all the time, and I usually just saute some onions or veggies of my choice, and then I'll put extra firm tofu in there, as well as turmeric, garlic powder, onion powder, and different spices like that. We put that again in a tortilla with beans and spinach and lettuce, and that was really nice. We also had it with sweet potatoes that I think somebody cooked that on the fire.
I grew up eating animals like most people. I loved milk so much that there was an ongoing joke in my family that my mom would buy me a cow. I wasn't a picky eater at all. I would just about try anything that anyone would tell me to eat. and some of my favorite foods were actually animals. Oddly enough, I considered myself an animal lover growing up. And I was. I genuinely loved animals. I just had so much dissociation between the animals alive and the animals that were on my plate. It wasn't until I was 18 that I got really into YouTube and I started following creators online who were actually vegan. And that got me really excited to try new recipes too, and showed me a different way of living. I had this idea that vegan food was super healthy and was going to taste like it too, but once I started trying out recipes, I realized that was so wrong. I could still have pasta and pizza and Chinese food and burgers, and it would all come at no expense to someone else's life. After that, I watched a documentary called What the Health with my family, which is basically about them uncovering the truth behind how unhealthy meat and dairy is for us. My sister and I both went vegetarian, and in the following years, I jumped around from vegetarian to pescatarian to veganism.
There's grapefruit, pear, pineapple, turmeric, ginger, lemon. Ooh, a lot of ginger. Very good though. But the ginger has a punch.
Big ginger moment.
Yeah, big ginger moment. Whoa. It's definitely cleansing your organs.
Unfortunately, my journey with veganism wasn't very simple like it is for other people. I had a lot of ups and downs with it and felt really insecure with the amount of backlash that I would get from family and friends and even my partner at the time. When I would go out to eat with my family and friends, I would be the odd one out ordering something completely different and asking for a separate menu, and this would automatically put me in the spotlight, which is so out of character for who I have been growing up. I've always been one to kind of hide in the background. I don't want to be too seen. So being vegan and having this spotlight put on me felt really uncomfortable. So me having the desire to be in the background and not have too much attention put on me was very much a barrier in why I think I wasn't able to stay consistent with veganism. I think another huge reason was that I wasn't consuming the undercover footage very much. Whenever I would see the footage of the animals being harmed at the slaughterhouses, I felt so hurt that I would actually push it away. I would unfollow people who were posting it. And in turn, that created even more of a cognitive dissonance whenever I would choose to eat meat. And there was a point that I actually got really into veganism, and that's when I did start choosing to watch the footage. I started following people like Earthling Ed, who were very unapologetic vegans doing street activism and posting the slaughterhouse footages on their online platforms. I felt honestly very embarrassed for the ways that I would push away this footage and turn a blind eye to it because of the gruesome, horrible acts that were happening behind closed doors. And for what? To stay comfortable and ignorant? What kind of life does that give me? I believe it's much more honorable to be heartbroken with the truth than to turn a blind eye to the suffering and be happy.
While we were in San Francisco, Tori and I met up with Nikki. If you've watched my video, she's been in a couple of them. We met up with her in San Diego and spent, I think, several weeks with her. Or if it wasn't several weeks, it felt like several weeks. We really built a very tight-knit friendship, the three of us, and it was just really cool to reunite with her and spend time with her. We volunteered a little bit for the Animal Liberation Conference and helped prepare for the march and made these big animal heads out of cardboard, and it felt really electric to be with her again because she's one of our dearest friends, honestly. Like, we love her so much. We have a really close-knit friendship as well because we have so many common views on things, and because we have this same drive and thirst to make the world a better place through activism. Like, Nikki has also been arrested. She's also been to disruptions and protests, and like I said, has partaken in civil disobedience. So she's a big part of the movement and is a really inspiring friend to be around. And I think that, at least for me, I always feel very inspired being in her presence. So it was really cool to connect with her again, to meet her family. We celebrated her birthday. Happy birthday to you. Woo! on a secret mission. We have been hanging out with our friend Nikki. She's one of our good friends from San Diego. She's visiting San Francisco so we can all go to this animal liberation conference. We went shopping with her today and she kind of pointed out things she liked. And while she was doing that, we just kept an eye out on what she was doing because tomorrow we're going to a belated birthday dinner with her and her family. Anyways, right now we just told Nikki that we're going to get gas and Nikki's at her parents' house. I am getting gas, but I quickly dropped Tori off and she's picking out this mushroom book that Nikki said she liked, these socks, and we also have a little card that we got her that we're both gonna write on. I just love surprising people and making people happy, and I've never been like a big gift person. That's not one of my love languages, but I'm trying to adopt it more because I know that it's just like the thought that counts, like the idea that somebody has been thinking about you. And I think I've just tried to make an effort to step into some of the other love languages that maybe don't come as naturally to me but are still really important and make people feel really loved. So this is what we got her. Tori just came back and brought it. We have this little gift bag that says happy birthday, darling. We got Food of the Gods, The Search for the Original Tree of Knowledge, A Radical History of Plants, Drugs, and Human Evolution by Terrence McKenna. And these socks. Oh, I'm also gonna add one of the crystals that I mined myself.
You're not even.
What is going on?
Is anything catching your eye?
Wow. Oh my god.
Oh. Do you know when we got it? Can you figure out?
No. Like getting gas?
Yes. That
Wait, okay, I literally, that's so funny.
Did
I
you look at
looked
the location?
on your location for a second.
we
No.
And you guys
We were
were
separate
no, but I
places.
didn't like look specifically. But I was
Okay,
like,
good.
you're there separately. I was like, what are they? I was like, I don't know. Like, what are
I
they
literally
doing?
told Tori, like, should we turn our location off? I feel like she's gonna check. The organization that we are doing the Animal Liberation Conference with is called Direct Action Everywhere. I'm gonna leave links down in the bio below if you would like to donate. They are an incredible organization doing great stuff for the animal rights movement. I think a couple years ago they got fur banned in the state of California, which is the first state that banned fur in the US. They are working on getting Rose's Law passed, and they're currently working on something called No More Factory Farms. They're basically trying to get a moratorium on factory farms, meaning that they aren't building more factory farms in the state of California, which really seems like the least you can ask considering that animal agriculture is one of the leading causes of climate change and that so many animals are being abused and exploited under this industry. So if you're interested at all in donating to that organization, like I said, links will be down below, as well as my Patreon. If you're interested in donating to my activism or my video creation or art in particular, I recently started a Patreon and I would appreciate it so much if you joined the family over there. I post exclusive content on my Patreon. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please like because it really supports my channel, and subscribe because I post videos every 3 days on Wednesdays and Sundays. Yeah, thank you. Bye.